I also was just recently contacted by someone who wanted me to essentially represent them in the sale of one of the Diddy tapes. So, which I declined that because...
Wait a minute, say that again. Say that again, back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is...
Yes, there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of, and to contact the person who was in the video to see if they were interested in purchasing the video before it became a public knowledge.
My oh my, aren't things cruising nicely on this Diddy Avenue? Word on the street is that Hollywood uncles are sweating buckets because somebody somewhere has been selling Diddy tapes with most of them in the tapes. There were already claims that surfaced a few days ago about explicit videos linked to Diddy, including those of naked basketball games being leaked on the dark web as he remains in a Brooklyn jail. And now the alleged secret tapes leaking in Hollywood could be a troublemaker for many who were once a part of Diddy's circle.
No, I can't explain who the person was, but Mr.
High profile?
Mr. Combs was in the tape, and this other person is, I would venture to say, more high profile than Mr. Combs.
Really? Really? And you've seen it?
I've seen stills of the video.
Okay.
So
you can verify
that it exists, that it's real, that the other person in the video is very visible. It's no question if it's that person in the video, and I can tell the video was pornographic in nature.
As always, I'm going to be breaking down this hot, stankin' cup of tea and name dropping some of the unks who are allegedly in the already leaked freak-off videos. So a lawyer for one of Diddy's accusers, Ariel Michelle Kidd, claimed that she's been contacted about the sale of one of the Diddy tapes, specifically an video featuring Diddy and someone more high profile than he is. More high profile? Wonder who that could be. She was talking about how she was contacted a few weeks ago by a new client who claimed Diddy SA'd her in 2018 and filed a police report at the time. And she said that her client told her that Diddy was planning to transport her across borders for you know what.
Due to the high profile nature that it was Mr. Combs who did this, she was afraid for her life. She was concerned that if she was to come forward and say something, that no one would believe her, because we're talking about 2018 when Mr. Combs was still pretty much at the height of his career, still very much so an icon and influential figure. So she's just a young girl from Northern California who's gonna believe that he had done something to her like this. So she didn't tell anybody. She did not hire an attorney. All she did was make the police report in the hopes that maybe the police would try to investigate and come up with anything. But she said she kind of felt from the police that they were disregarding what she was saying, even without saying Mr. Combs' name. So she didn't feel any confidence that revealing his name would have done anything.
Well, something interesting the lawyer also said was that there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood being shopped around. But one particular person contacted her to shop a particular video they were in possession of and to contact the person who was in the video to see if they were interested in purchasing the video before it became public knowledge. According to Michelle, the recording was in Diddy's Atlanta home. And if you ask her, it does not seem like the other person didn't know they were being videotaped. Other than what the lawyer revealed about tapes being shopped, several sources also claimed the feds have acquired an alleged freak-off tape handed over by a male freaky worker who came in direct contact with Diddy. Apparently, this person signed a proffer agreement which allows him to speak to federal investigators without fear of prosecution. Based on reports, the conversation revolved around Diddy, with the man explaining how he got in touch with an escort to engage in a freak-off involving himself, Diddy, and a woman. The threesome went down in May 2023 when the male escort claims he flew from Atlanta to Miami to meet up with Diddy and the woman, and he ended up having intercourse with her while Diddy filmed the encounter. He had a copy of the video from the alleged encounter and turned it over to the federal agents who met with him. So in case you had any doubts, the tapes are there, and they are not only being shopped on the dark web, they are also being shopped in Hollywood. Ask yourselves this: if this one person is already asking people to shop the video, how many such videos does the person have? Who else has similar videos? And who is in these videos? Also, So is it possible that the feds could be the ones leaking the videos? Now, I don't know if it's true, but I've also heard that other than the tapes being leaked and shopped from Diddy's homes, we also have videos from naked basketball games leaking. You know, the very same ones that Jamie Foxx also hosted with various Hollywood unks.
Wait a minute, though. What about those pictures that showed up?
What?
Didn't you have some pictures of you playing naked basketball? Or
Oh, no, it wasn't that. We was on the beach or something. I don't know. It was young in my career.
Nice of Jamie Foxx trying to deflect there. But there were pictures back in the day of him playing naked basketball that mysteriously disappeared from the internet. And I can also almost swear that there was a post that also vanished where Jamie basically apologized to his neighbors for playing naked basketball, saying, "To all my neighbors, I just want to say that I'm sorry and I'm sending gift baskets to you all for all the wrong I've done. We used to play nude basketball in the back for clinical reasons, to release the soul. Part of my fences was down and I didn't know that the lady and her family was there. I wasn't there at the time." As a matter of fact, when it comes to these naked basketball games and Jamie Foxx, there have also been other receipts in the past that these basketball games actually existed. For instance, if you are wondering why Jamie Foxx is usually not a frequent guest on The Breakfast Club, it's because DJ Envy once asked Jamie Foxx about the naked basketball games. In addition, Wendy watchers will probably also remember that there was a time Wendy Williams talked about the basketball games when she was talking about how Tommy Davidson accused Jamie in his memoir of ripping off his underwear. According to Wendy, if the allegations were true, it was because Jamie appreciates a high hard behind like the ones he saw while playing naked basketball. But for reasons we can probably guess, all this tea about naked basketball games was scraped from the internet. There was even an account from a TikToker who had first-hand information about the basketball games when her mom took her to work at different radio stations. And she claimed that after she talked about Jamie Foxx and Diddy's naked basketball games, she received a phone call and had to take down the videos. Well, at least for this one, I could find what she said.
When I heard about the Jamie Foxx situation, I was literally like 7 years old. And a lot of you guys don't understand that I practically lived at radio stations with my mom. Like, I was there 24/7. I was always at the radio station. So I got to hear adults talking about things because I was a fly on the wall at that point. So 7-year-old Crystal heard about these celebrity butt naked basketball games. And I couldn't remember who he even was. I just remember thinking at that time, I was like, why do those men want to play basketball naked together? Like, that's so silly. Like, they're funny. And it didn't dawn on me until I was like an adult that I was like, oh. And just to be clear, that this was not a judgment on Jamie Foxx at all. He was vocal about it, and he didn't mind telling people. This was in the 90s.
The TikToker actually provided clues as to who the other participants were, especially about one particular participant hinting that he is someone who was married to someone who likes to drink lemonade. And then she gave bee buzzing sounds as another hint. Definitely Beyonce and Jay-Z. Honey, who knew the naked basketball games would be making a comeback in the Diddy case? Allegedly, the games were part of a secret club that Diddy created so that he could promote self-love amongst his friends and guests who were only men. And as usual, he recorded everything. But guess what? Like I said, these are not the only tapes the feds allegedly uncovered. There are a bunch of videos that I'm guessing will be going viral soon, and some of the unks are already doing damage control. One of them being Will Smith, allegedly. Baby, I already had my jaw on the floor when I read that Diddy was okay with Will Smith sleeping with Kim Porter when she was 9 months pregnant. But now more news reaching me is that Uncle Smith is on those freak-off tapes.
And young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mills, Bashir Gray, left that house screaming. August the only one that stayed, and I guess he was really sick. He needed a dog.
Child, you know where Uncle Smith would allegedly take his parties when he was not having them at his house or at Diddy's house? To Uncle Dwayne Wade's house. I mean, Dwayne Wade's former business partner, Baron Richard Hauptman, is on record saying that he got sucked into doing business with Dwayne because he had a first-class media persona, and people viewed him as the new Michael Jordan. Richard said that Dwayne Wade was that good guy, father of the year, and celebrity who had his head on his shoulder. But he found out after a year that he was nothing like that. According to Richard, Dwayne used an apartment to host adult, mostly gay parties with his friends during his marriage, and he even went into the details of the apartment, saying it was a 4-bedroom place on the first floor of a high-rise. One day, I got a call from my cleaning crew at the apartment. I went down there, and what I saw was disgusting. The apartment was trashed, filthy, and it wasn't the first time. Also, have a look at what Jaguar Wright said happens down at the Wade house.
They ain't doing as much, I guess, now because they're getting older. I guess it just moved over to the Wade house.
Energy transfers. Energy
And I'm
transfers.
not saying that because of their trans daughter. I'm saying that because of the artist that I just spoke to not that long ago that got invited to a party at their house. Everything was cool up front, so they went to the back and there was a bunch of old and young boys back there, all naked in the Wade house. So I find it funny that Gabrielle's sitting there talking about Boosie.
I mean, damn. Jaguar Wright always with her words, cutting like a double-edged sword. Anywho, we also have a bunch of other uncles who by now we expect to see in the leaked tapes people are talking about, like Stevie J. I'm sure this won't even be surprising to anyone, given how much he has been defending Diddy.
My man would never break the law. We don't do that. We're law-abiding citizens. That's what we do. You know what I'm saying? This is another crucifixion of a black legend.
But you want to know which other unk is allegedly going to come up a lot in the coming days? Tyler Perry. Remember when Christian Keys was exposing a very powerful person who bragged about having multiple young black men on the payroll, and the black men just had to show up when he requested them to be there? And we are not just talking about speculations here. Christian also showed fans a recorder, saying he had kept one on him since 2005, and added that he has multiple voice recordings of what happened to him. He even gave a couple of instances where he was harassed and said that after the powerful man offered him $100K to strip, the man offered to buy him a car as an apology. And he has that conversation in one of his recordings. Well, at the time, there was a lot of speculation that he was talking about Tyler Perry. So this story didn't blow up like it was expected to, but I have a feeling it's about to make a comeback because Uncle Perry is also allegedly on those tapes. And someone else people really didn't expect to be making rounds like he is Leonardo DiCaprio. Yes, we know the stories about how he supposedly only dates women who are 25 and under. In fact, a source talked to Page 6 and gave a blunt assessment of how Leo sees love. Apparently, he has never been interested in seriously dating someone his age or set on having something serious, period. The source said, by the time the girls reach 25, they're looking for more. They're looking to get married and settle down. That is not what Leo wants. He does not want a family and does not want to be around women who may press him for that. The minute a girl meets him, the clock is ticking. If she gets too old, in a couple of years, she is gone. If she gets too close, in a couple of years, she is gone. Well, there have been many assumptions here and there from people that this behavior is because Leo is low-key on the DL. And while he has been spotted at Diddy parties, allegedly he has done so much more. And people are saying there is no way he will not be on those leaked tapes. What I can bet is that a lot of these people who know they are in the tapes are moving heaven and earth to make sure they get the tapes before they start making rounds. But considering we are talking about tapes from all the way back to the 2000s, I'm sure they won't get all of them. Allegedly, Diddy himself was also selling the videos, and we had Jaguar Wright claiming that Diddy allegedly sold a controversial freak-off party video for a staggering $500 million on the dark web. She alleged that the videos being sold on the dark web feature high-profile names such as Justin Bieber, Chris Brown, Rihanna, Nicki Minaj, and Drake. And I know that many of y'all will say they don't believe Jaguar or Gene Deal, who also said that a lot of politicians are on these tapes. But even if you don't believe them, believe that the tapes exist and are probably being shopped. Personally, I don't think we can exhaust the names of people spanning over like 30 years, but I'm sure as hell looking forward to the tapes that have allegedly been leaked. As we wait, let me know what you think about these tapes being shopped and who you think is on them in the comments section below.